Hey guys, I am back again with another quick video that I wanted to share with you, and I hope it's not too long, but anyway, I haven't did a video in a minute. So all you all know that I'm in school, I have a full load, I'm doing this, doing that, I have my hands in a lot of things, and in the midst of me doing that, I personally started to notice that things were starting to distract me. And there, there were it was good things, it was other projects or whatever, but I noticed that I was not focused on what I needed to execute at the moment. I was getting thrown off and I was just being distracted. So I had to come up with ways and actually think of some things that I can do for myself personally to keep me focused. For an example, I noticed that sometimes I would get off task and I find myself watching too much TV. So I took drastic measures and I just cut the cable off. And also I noticed that sometimes I would lose track of time, and I would just continue to just deadlines that needed to be met on certain projects and stuff. It's like I always meet them, but I was just like barely meeting them. And I was just like, okay, hold on, wait a minute, I need to go back to the drawing board and figure out some ways, or actually kind of think of some ways or something that will prevent me from putting myself in this situation. And when I thought about it, it was just like, it's not as if I was doing anything totally to the left. It's just that I was not disciplined enough, and I was letting certain things and situations and wanting to go places and being amongst other people. And like I said, it was nothing bad. It was still productive, but the things that I had aside for myself, the things that I had that I wanted to do for me, that my goals, what I wanted to accomplish, whether they were micro or mini or micro goals, I noticed that things were getting in the way. I would get distracted. I would find myself getting sleepy a lot and being lazy and didn't want to do this. And I noticed that by me doing that, it was distracting me from my destiny. It was distracting me from my purpose. It was distracting me from my calling and what I wanted to do and what I had set out to do. And so I was just like, okay, either I was going to continue to pedal slowly like this, or I can get on track so I can roll smoothly and reach my destiny and to do what it is that I'm wanting to do, what I'm called to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you some things, and it's just 5 things that I want to share with you real quick that are distractions from our destiny. Some of it may apply to you, all of it may apply, but if it does, what I do strongly advise is that you kind of pull back like I did, kind of do a self-soul searching and analyze your life. Really put it down on paper and say, like, okay, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm not doing, this is what I could be doing, this is what's distracting me, this is what's holding me back, this is what's pulling me back, and attack that thing, eliminate it, or do whatever it is that's necessary that you have to do to keep you on track. Because one thing you have to understand about destiny is that it's something that needs to be fulfilled. It's a purpose for your life. It's a calling for your life. Distractions come to sever that thing, to kill that thing, to cut it out, or to slowly get you there when you could have been here, and you're not making any progress because you keep letting things and people and situations, and sometimes, to be honest with you, we are our own distractions. This thing that up here, what we hold in our head and how we think about ourselves and how we perceive life and the perspective on how we view situations, can distract us, and it can actually put us back into our little bubble, and we get isolated and be complacent that we're not producing anything, we're not going anywhere. So real quick, what I want to do is share with you 5 things that I think that are distracting us, or that are distractions from our purpose. And it's not in any particular order, but I'm just going to read them off to you. Okay, so number 1, I think is the biggest one, is and you can find out that something is distracting you from your destiny, is time. We're wasting time. We're wasting time on going places that we don't need to go. We're wasting time on non-productive relationships. And when I say relationships, that could be a romantic partner, that could be in a friendship, a business partner, people that we partner in any type of thing that we have in our life, any type of relationship that we have with someone. wasting time with that. If they're not helping you trying to get to where you need to go, they're not pouring into you, they're not trying to encourage you, motivate you, they're not even willing to fall back so that you can do what you need to do to get to your purpose. If those people are in your life and they're like that, that is a distraction from you. If you find yourself sad all the time with them, if you're always especially in a romantic relationship, if you're fussing and fighting all the time with them, if they're always feeling as if you're putting your destiny in front of them and they're trying to make you feel guilty or putting you in a situation where you have to choose, that is not someone that is for you. That is not someone that I feel that God has sent in your life to help elevate you, because any type of relationship that is healthy and that is for you and of you, that is your perfect fit, your perfect design, is not going to distract you from what your purpose is. If anything, it's going to cheer you on, it's going to motivate you, it's going to push you so that you can do what's necessary you have to do, because in the end of the day, they love, like you, care about you enough that they want you to win, even if it means that they have to be neglected for a little bit. So that's something to think about. Wasting time, procrastinating, we being lazy, redirecting our focus on things that are not productive, that's not giving us any type of good positive vibe and energy that we need. Those type of things, we're wasting time. And one thing about time is that we cannot get it back. So it's very, very imperative that you really analyze yourself, analyze your world, and see, where am I wasting my time at? Am I on social media too much? Am I wasting time in this relationship that isn't going anywhere? Am I wasting time always going to this particular place? Whatever it is, and where I could be doing this, I could be working on my dream or my vision or networking the way that I'm supposed to network so that I can produce and birth my destiny. So whatever it is that is in your life that you notice that it's wasting your time, you got to cut it out. It has to go, because as I stated, time is something that we can't get back. So we need to be very mindful on how we utilize our time. We get the same 24 hours in the day as everybody else. So it's very important that we kind of sit up here and make our own agenda and stay focused, and anything that's going against that, I don't think that it's of God. It has to go. It's not going to distract you. So if those things are in there and it's not producing good things in your life, or they're not pouring into you, it's a distraction. It's not love or anything like that. It ain't, they gotta go. It has to go. You have to stop going there. It's not helping you at all. It's hurting you, and it's distracting you from your destiny. So that's number one. And number two is whatever it is not producing good fruit. And what I mean by good fruit, meaning that it's not helping you. Whatever it is that you're engaged in, whether it's an organization, whether it's a club, whether it's some type of being involved with people, friendships, or whatever, if it's not producing good fruit in your life, if it's not something that is that you can see the benefit of it being there, the benefit of you doing something or going a certain place, that is a distraction. It is only there to redirect your focus, to pull you back, to throw you off your game, and to probably kind of make you doubt yourself. It's kind of like, well, if I'm doing this and whatever, I'm not producing any good fruit. Maybe this is not what I'm supposed to do. Maybe this is not worth it. It's there to distract you, and that's not true. You know what you know, and hold truth to that, and hold firm to that thing. And if this particular thing, whatever it is, I don't care if it's people, places, things, whatever it is that it's not producing good fruit in your life, and all you see is negativity coming from it, it's not pouring any type of wisdom into you, you're not growing from it, you're not learning from this thing, it's a distraction, and it has to go. So that's number two, is that whatever it is not producing good fruit, it has to go. Number three is that it acts as a distinguisher. And we all know what a distinguisher is. When you think about when you first was passionate about something. You know, I want to open up my own business. I want to write this book. You know, I want to go back to school. I want to learn this, a new language, or whatever the case may be. Whatever it is that you were passionate and you were so grounded with that thing, you know, you were on fire for it. You would stay up late at night working on it, you know, perfecting your craft, and you stay up late at night, you know, studying a thing, to study for a test or whatever it is, because you know at the end your destiny was there. You know, you can see it, like you want it, like you can taste it, and you were willing to do anything for it, like you were on fire for your destiny. And then all of a sudden something happened, whether it's a relationship, whatever it is, that particular thing came into your life, or those thoughts, or you starting to find yourself falling back or whatever, maybe self-doubt, not having a lot of confidence that you once was, or maybe as you tried to produce this thing and it failed, so now you're kind of like second guessing yourself. That thought, those feelings, those negative emotions, those negative things and people that are coming there is acting as a distinguisher, meaning they're putting out your fire. They're putting out your drive and your motivation and the courage that you had to birth your vision, to run full force towards your destiny. That is a distinguisher. So if that is in your life and you're noticing that it's starting to become more of a chore to do this thing that you once was just like, I don't care by any means necessary. If I have to take out a loan to invest in myself, to invest in my business or whatever it is, I was willing to do it. I was willing to go the extra mile to get it because you was so on fire for it. And now it just seems like, oh, I got to do this, or oh, I got to do that, or yeah, let me just do this, or whatever. And you're not really passionate no more about it. Whatever it is that's in your way, and sometimes it could be yourself. That's why it's very important that you have these self-checks with yourself, so that you can see, hey, what's going on with me, what's going on with my emotions, what came in my life, or what is it that I'm not doing anymore, or what is it that I'm going, where is it that I am going and engaging myself in that is putting out my fire. So you have to really be honest with yourself and say, hey, ever since I got with him or I got with her, my drive for my destiny has kind of fizzled out a little bit. So that is probably becoming a distraction, and you have to, in the name of love, if it is a good thing, to let it go for the moment, or kind of prioritize so that you can get back on fire for your destiny and push this thing so you can birth your vision. So that's number 3. Number 4 is that you start, and number 4 is your priorities are out of whack. When your priorities begin to get out of whack and not in alignment with what your destiny is and what you're trying to do or accomplish in your life, when you start to notice that I would rather go out instead of staying at home studying, knowing I have a test that I need to pass in order to get into this program or get this degree, when you're starting to do those things and you know your priorities are out of order, when you're willing to sacrifice being in this unhealthy relationship and it's not producing any type of good fruit for you at all, but you're still willing to stay there, and they're demanding your attention, they're demanding time, they're demanding that you be with me, and they're manipulating you to feel so that you can feel guilty to be with them. That is not of God. That is not something that needs someone that needs to be in your life. They are a distraction. They have to go. They're not there to help you produce this thing, especially if you share it with them, your dreams and your hopes and your desires and what you wanted and what you're trying to accomplish, and you can you feel like you have to, it's a tug of war, you know, you're not balanced. That's not a good thing. That's a distraction. You have to go your priorities. So when you start to notice that you're putting them or that or this place or whatever it is in your life, you're putting it before what you once set out to accomplish, that's a distraction. So you need to analyze that, get it back on track, and move forward. So that's number 4. And number 5 is my final one, is that when you start to see yourself not accomplishing or finishing a task, you know, that those things can become a distraction. When you find yourself trying to make up for what you once wanted to do, you're putting other things in front of it, and you're not accomplishing it. It's not, you're never finishing anything. You have your hands in so many things. You're doing too much. That right there can become a distraction, because you're not balanced anymore. You're not focused. You don't have you don't have a strategic plan that you once had to reach your destiny. You're just starting to throw stuff in there just to be busy, but you're not productive in producing your and birthing your vision. So there's a lot more other things that I could think of, but just for the sake of time, those are the top 5 things that I think that are standing in our way, that are distractions for us. And if we need to really pay attention to those things, because a lot of times we can be tricked, or we can try to think that we have a lot of time to get ourselves together. But the way that this world works, this life works, nothing is promised to us. Life is not scripted. We don't know when our last day may be. And what I would rather try to get to my goal, get to the end result, instead of just sitting here wasting time, not being productive, allowing people to come into my life. And that's very important. Let me just say this real quick. When you know that you have a purpose for your life, and God has given you a vision that you're trying to birth, you have to understand that someone is praying for that thing. Someone is praying for your business. Someone is praying for your book. Someone is praying for you to get this education, because they need you in this field. Someone needs someone like you. No one can do it like how you can do it. So if this person and people are coming into your life and they're distracting you from that, you have to really pay attention to that. You have to really understand that, you know, I can't, like, my time is precious. My space is valuable. You know, I am a quality person. I don't have time to sit here and just allow things to just happen, or for me to become not focused on what it is that I need to do, because I have a task that I need to complete. I can't afford to lose. I can't afford to fail at this thing. I have to keep pushing. So if we are bound with a lot of distractions in our life, it's going to keep us complacent. It's going to keep us stuck. We're going to still be on this hamster wheel going around and around. We're never going to reach what we set out to reach in the beginning. Our fire is going to be burned out. We're going to feel overwhelmed. And then another thing is that when those things do come and we get distracted, sometimes it may not necessarily be a person. It may not even be places that you're going, or things that you're doing. Sometimes when we experience a bump in the road, we become our own distraction, meaning that we start to think that we're not worthy enough, or I'm not cut from that cloth, so I'm not that type of person. I can't do that, or I'm not going to do this, or it'll never happen for me, you know, little old me. You know, we start to doubt ourselves and our abilities. So therefore, we become our own distraction, and we don't even do it or pursue the thing anymore, because we became discouraged. So I just want to encourage you that whatever it is that God has placed on your life to do, whatever it is that you know what your purpose is, I don't care how big it may be or how small it may be, it is still a purpose. Please pursue that. Pursue it and go all the way. If you fail, it's okay, as long as you fail forward and you pick yourself up and you keep going. Because one thing you need to understand is that if you stop, that's when the true failure comes in. But if you continue to keep picking yourself up, learn from your mistakes, and go back to the drawing board and reroute some stuff and go a different avenue, and also ask God to give you a spirit of discernment, so you would know what, when, who, why, where. You would have a more strategic plan on how to get to that thing. But these distractions that you are allowing in your life is going to hold you back, and it's going to keep you from not accomplishing a thing. So just real quick, I just want to share some things with you that works for me. When I found myself just being in a ball of distraction, watching TV, not doing, you know, being a little lazy, not producing anything. You know, I was doing stuff, but it wasn't just, I wasn't focused like I once was. My fire was going out. So the first thing I had to do was be like, okay, well, I was wasting time. So what I had to do was I invest in a calendar. This is a calendar that I use, and when I tell you, it gets filled up all the time, and I make notes in it. I take it with me in my purse. You know, I'm always looking at it before I go to bed, so I would know in my mind, you know, I'm going to bed. I'm like, okay, Courtney, prepare yourself because you have this to do, this to do, this to do, and they are priorities. They are important things, not just doctor's appointments and running the kids here and there. No, it's kind of like I have to get this done because I have a test here, and I have to study, and I got to read these 3 chapters. And it's really have kept me focused. It's really have kept me very driven to accomplish a thing. So I would strongly advise that you may want to invest in a calendar. And I know sometimes, you know, I guess you can say old school or whatever, but I like to see it on paper. You know, a lot of times we have it now on our tablets, phones, and stuff like that, and that's good. That's even better because you can get a ding. But me, I just like looking at it. Another thing is I like to read. So I started to I had this book for some years now, but this is a book. It's by Rick Warren. It's called The Purpose Driven Life. What on earth am I here for? What this book for me, it just it says in there, it said it will help explain the meaning of life. It will simplify your life, and it will focus your life. And for me, it has. Every now and again, I pick it up and I find a particular chapter in there that I need to get more enlightened on. And each time I read it, I get something different out of it. So this is a purpose-driven life. I would strongly advise that those who are trying to birth their vision, find what their calling or purpose is in life, that you may want to read that. It really opens your eyes up to a whole different field of purpose. And another one, I just got this book last week, and I can't even put it down. It's by Os Guinness. It's called The Call. It's finding and fulfilling the central purpose of your life. Very interesting book. It helps you do just that. So those are just three things I want to share with you on top of the 5 other things that that you can do to make sure that you don't have these distractions in your life. Okay, so again, just to recap, the first thing you need to do is to see what you're doing or what is wasting your time. It's not producing good fruit in your life. So that's another way that you can tell that, okay, this thing right here is a distraction. It acts as a distinguisher. That drive and that fire that you once had has been put out by something or someone or something that you're doing or something that you are not doing anymore. That's number 3. Number 4, your priorities are not in alignment with your purpose. Number 5 is that you're doing too much. You're falling off. You're not completing a task. So those are the 5 things. So again, I want you to be encouraged. Find your purpose. Birth that thing. Again, someone is praying for you to do what it is that you do, because can't no one do it like you. And I just hope and pray that this encourages you, motivates you, and that you continue to put your best foot forward. And just know that you deserve the best. You deserve all or nothing, and no one is responsible for your life but you. No one is responsible for your destiny but you. So go ahead and stay focused and birth your vision. And remember that self-love is truly the best love. Peace.